up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of SCNS Live, the Super Cool Nerd Show. Thank you guys out there in the Super Cool Nerd Nation for joining us for another hour of whatever we do. It's just madness. Anyway, I am Jason the X. That is Cass.
What are we doing?
No,
We
that's
do a show.
not Cass.
It's a weekly thing.
Incorrect.
Did I say
You did.
I did. You know, I was off
All
on
right,
that.
that's enough. Almost
Hi,
2
Kat.
years.
I'm sorry for getting your name wrong.
It's been almost 2 years.
It has been, and clearly I didn't forget.
Maybe in season 10, everyone.
Maybe you've had a little too much of the bubbly.
Not both. Anyways,
Anyway, Kat, there's Cass.
actual cast.
Actual
Hello.
Cass. Take my take. Why are you wearing my hat?
Because it was in my chair.
Where's
You
Bryce?
know, that's fair.
How?
Who's
Ho?
that?
And now, suspect number 2 behind the board is Cora.
Excuse me, I should not be a suspect. This is criminal profiling. I don't appreciate it.
What are you profiled based on?
Something that you actually did.
I'm trying to figure out what's the stereotype I'm missing here for her. You know,
Person.
the caucasity.
Yeah.
Oh, I was.
That's fair.
I thought it was just based on the fact that I, in my spare time, just watch a lot of crime show dramas, but like documentaries, not the actual drama.
See, she's that kind of person where I'm not saying I did it, but here's a book on how I would if I had done it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, OJ.
That's how psychopaths get caught. Yeah.
Yep.
They want to brag about it.
You puts it on the internet.
Anyway, we are. It's an unusual topic for us. It's the spooky season. Spoopy
Spoopy.
season.
Spooky, scary.
And it's not all about us as adults. We need to do family things. So what are those best family-friendly movies, I guess, experiences?
Horror
to
films, Halloween films.
I don't think horror goes quite into the family-friendly.
Well, I mean, there's
It-
some that
it
are like,
can.
they're like kid movies, but at the same time, they can kind of scare the bejesus out of
You know,
Jesus.
Jesus.
bejesus.
Yeah, I can't
think
wait to share the magic of
Jabita-
the human centipede with my children.
To be fair,
It just sounds like a really bad candy.
my cousin, when he was like 5, his favorite movie was Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street.
That is
So,
My first horror film that I ever saw was The Silence of the Lambs, so.
Ooh, that's such a
and
good
already in the chat, Friday the 13th, family-friendly. No, that's
I mean, Jason
that's-
the X,
I mean-
Jason 10 wasn't.
a horrible family movie.
It all depends on how your kids react to horror.
Jason's a good boy.
I did not react well. I was scared of Winnie the Pooh.
See? I mean, so is all China.
That's
so.
for later. That's for later.
That is for much later. Anyway, thank you guys out there for joining us. You know how we kick this thing off. Let's start off some super cool nerd news.
Well, if you are a fan of musicals, and if you are a fan of Daveed Diggs, you're going to love this. So currently, Daveed Diggs is in talks to play Sebastian the Crab in the live-action Little Mermaid movie. For those who do not know, Daveed Diggs played Lafayette / Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton, which, I mean, it's been out, what, like 5 years now? So
Something like that.
so most people should probably know who Daveed Diggs is, at least if you are a musical theater nerd. He's currently in talks to play.
Rap.
Oh, rap, yeah. Was it Freestyle Love Supreme?
Mhm.
So he's currently talks to play Sebastian the Crab. Currently, they have. I'm gonna say this. It's not Halle Berry. It sounds very much the same, but it's Halle Bailey will portray Ariel, who she is from Chloe and Halle, who is sisters that started off doing YouTube covers, and then they were really good, so they got signed, and they've been on tour with like Jay-Z and Beyonce, and they've released EPs and all this other stuff. So she's been tapped to play Ariel, and of course Melissa McCarthy has also been tapped to play Ursula. And Javier Bardem is on board to play. That's the Fox live action. They're doing a Fox live action, and then they're doing a movie version.
What?
Melissa McCarthy is
Ursula.
She's like has absolutely been cast as
Yes.
Ursula. Oh, okay.
And then they've got Javier Bardem on board to play King Triton.
I was on the Terry Crews wagon.
I
I'm
really
still on that
was
one.
too.
So
Well, now we can get him for E-Man.
Melissa McCarthy.
It is going to be directed by Rob Marshall, and it's written by Devin McGee. It will incorporate original songs from the '89 animated classic, as well as new tunes from original composer I'm going to say this wrong. Menken?
Alan Menken.
Alan Menken, yeah, thank you. With lyrics by Hamilton Carter and Lin-Manuel Miranda, one of my personal heroes. And Miranda is also producing the film along with Rob Marshall and Mark Platt and John DeLuca. But yeah, in the original series, Sebastian is a Jamaican crab and advisor to King Triton and delivers one of the movie's most famous songs, Under the Sea. So I am excited to see David Diggs become a Jamaican crab.
I'm wondering if they're going to keep his slightly unfortunate
French accent.
It's Jamaican.
Oh. Well,
the original is.
yeah, I mean, it was the 80s, so I don't know.
And that's my question,
Yeah.
is if they're going to keep his accent.
I think you would have to. If you're
think
gonna
so?
play, if you're gonna do Under the Sea, the
You
whole
can't.
song has a Caribbean flair to it.
That's true.
And that's the other thing, like Little Mermaid, like the original story, like takes place like in the Baltic region.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but-
Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah.
He's Swedish, I believe.
So yeah, so Sweden,
The original one.
like
I think was.
but this
The one
this
like I
this
remember
adaptation of the
probably
movie is going to be changed. Rumors are it's going to be changed around to take place in Caribbean.
That absolutely makes sense. They did a similar thing with Aquaman, right? Aquaman was originally a blonde-haired underwater person. Now it's Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
So it absolutely makes sense that they would kind of change
Yeah,
up where it takes place. Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. I mean, I haven't heard Halle Berry sing, but I mean, seeing that she's been on tour with like Beyonce and Jay-Z,
Oh, you should look it up. She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
and then you know,
Bailey. Halle Bailey.
Melissa McCarthy,
Yeah, Halle Berry is also phenomenal, but like in a different
Halle
way.
Bailey, yeah.
She's not a singer.
Yeah, but then Melissa McCarthy, I'm kind of like on the fence on. Like I'm on the fence on, but Javier Bardem is King Triton. I'm excited to see that. And just add David Diggs. I'm throwing money at this film. So
I'm sorry, Melissa McCarthy. Like,
I don't think she has the presence.
I don't hate her. Like, she was good in like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But like, if you were gonna cast a white girl, which why? Like, why would you not go with Rebel Wilson?
Who absolutely nails it at a Hollywood Bowl, I think.
Pretty much.
Well,
Yeah,
they're casting a white woman to take a black woman's voice. So
Well, the original
Seems
one's like
about
a
right.
5 foot nothing.
Yeah, the original, like, Ursula is this tiny, tiny white person.
Yeah.
With
Yeah, and
a lot of soul.
With the
And
most
she-
shit-eating grin I've ever seen in my life.
and she just embraces this role. It's her favorite role she's ever done.
She has such a big voice.
Do we
too,
have
like,
somebody we
it's
would rather have had for Ursula?
Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson.
Queen
Queen
Latifah.
Latifah.
Yeah.
Have her do a crossover.
Titus Burgess.
Adele.
Titus Burgess.
Oh, actually,
I don't
You
know
know
if Adele has that. Does she have
Adele?
that raspy?
I,
That's-
it could be a new
I
take on it though.
I think Adele would
But can she?
Adele would do well in the role, but it would definitely be one of those like, this is going to be different, and we have to get used to it kind of things.
Yeah.
I think she'd be fine with the dialect coach. For
Oh.
the rest.
Literally my least favorite Disney movie.
I have yet to be impressed with any of the Disney remakes aside from Cinderella, which was not a musical. So.
I mean, Aladdin
Jungle
was,
Book was
pretty
good.
good.
I mean, you break it down. Ariel's a stalker.
The whole story is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot-
Slightly
a
unfortunate.
lot of
souls.
these stories are really unfortunate
Ariel
when you
is
really
a
look at it.
stalker, or every single one of the male heroes is a stalker, and
Yeah.
all the other ones,
I mean,
Sleeping
who walks
Beauty,
into a-
Cinderella, like all of
Who
them.
walks
are
into
like,
a
I'm gonna
forest-
find this girl.
Who walks into a forest and just kisses a corpse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
It was
I'll
real
tell you,
weird.
a necrophiliac. Sadly,
Congratulations.
you asked
so
who.
much.
I just answer your question.
Every night he asked her to lay really
Achievement
still.
unlocked. Necrophilia.
They never
So, yeah,
got
but-
to how cold she was.
Yeah.
Like, they
Yes,
never
David
really
Diggs is
detailed.
being cast
Oh,
hopefully
sunshine.
as Sebastian. So yeah, Cass, what do you got this week?
Much lighter topic. So if you've ever gone to hell, no. Doom Eternal was slated for a
Yes!
November 22nd release.
Yes.
That has been pushed back to March 20th.
No. Yes.
Ooh.
Wait. What?
The reason for this is a reason that we've heard with a lot of video games recently. They just needed more time for the developers to put out the game that they wanted to put out. It seems absolutely like they're being nice to the animators, to the creators, to the developers. They did say that Invasion Mode is now going to be a free update coming soon after the release of the game. So we have all the things kind of in place for this game. It's just going to take a little longer to put out, and they wanted us to know that.
I don't understand this at all. Like,
No?
I really don't. They were playtesting it at Quake.
Yeah.
So, and people were reportedly having a really good experience, which indicates that it's not super
We literally
buggy.
talked to them. So.
Like, it's fine with me, but I don't get it.
Do you
like,
think something just went catastrophically wrong?
We don't know
Maybe
how
a bug.
much they were
really
testing either.
had that prior to it.
Yeah.
Not in a single player mode, not that I know about.
Yeah, even the testers didn't get all the levels. They didn't get all the weapons. So, I mean, I love Doom, and I've been so ready for this game. And honestly, with the way they announced, I was like, okay. I wasn't even mad. I was disappointed.
Yeah. But
Okay.
honestly, though, there might have been a bug that just came out of nowhere. Something happened. But honestly, you know what? Then
That's the question that I put. But how do you have a bug that bad when you're already playing it? You're already mid testing.
Like I said, they weren't testing a complete game at QuakeCon. So,
Right, but they're clearly down to release DLC
At least
after
alpha
the
st-
release
well-
of the game. So that's I'm not mad about it, but I am super curious. It's a very like advanced point in testing
It
to
is.
then retreat from and move your game back 4 months.
I'm wondering if it has something to do with invasion mode. This is the first time that we've had an invasion mode, which just FYI, it allows you to enter other people's campaigns as a playable demon. And they do seem to be releasing this as a DLC, but I'm wondering if it's just something wrong with that in particular.
Then you just hold it back.
You just hold it back.
Like everything I know about technology just makes this kind of
Really
weird.
odd.
also, I like to, and I was kind of hoping this. Like, there's been a lot of pushback for studios to treat their teams better.
Yeah.
I would
Look
hope
at you,
that,
Sonic. You actually did it
Yeah.
well.
Well, everybody was doing this.
So
wrong.
I could hope that maybe some of that's related to it. Hey, let's just scale back. It's going to take us some time, and let's take it. That's fine. It's a mature.
Term for it. What's
what
the
if
term?
nothing's wrong with the game? They're just too much competition coming out.
No,
at
everybody
once.
competes with that November.
That's
time
not
frame.
Bethesda.
Everybody's bringing out stuff in November.
I wonder if they're just scared.
The other option is that they relocated some of their people to dress like something different, but that doesn't seem likely either. They're pretty segmented. Like I said, just curious, not that concerned.
I
Just
don't-
wondering.
I don't know if these are competing markets, but March 20th is less than a month after Last of Us 2 comes out. So I'm not sure that it's about competition.
Well,
I don't know what's
also
coming
they'll
out
be
right now.
Gearing out for Cyberpunk
Oh, that's true.
and lots
Either
of
way,
stuff.
it gives me more time to play Jedi Fallen Order.
Fair enough.
And Pokemon Sword and Shield.
But
Less that.
I'm not doing that. Not doing that.
Liar.
But now you have time.
There's a lot of stuff coming out in November. I got work to do. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's fair.
And PlayStation 5.
Oh.
That's coming out next year.
Yeah, that's
Go
not
ahead.
coming out this.
They're gonna finally
Oh,
upgrade the internet card in that.
Right, Kat, what
Or
do you
the
got?
memory going up from 5 gigabytes.
Not for free. So, if you have never heard of something called negative latency, that's probably because it's not anything. It's not a thing. It's not a phrase. But Google Stadia this week said that it hopes to top like consoles and PCs in its online cloud-based gaming with something called negative latency that is basically a super high frame rate combined with predictive input from your button pushing. So basically, they're going to predict what they think you're going to do and then pre-process it in the computer so that when you push it, it happens nearly instantly. That's what they're hoping to do. So, yeah. Negative latency, not a thing. You can't be faster than LAN connections, I don't think, but I think it's an interesting idea. You guys look fascinated and full of words.
But like, what if you don't do what they think you're gonna do?
Well, basically, you and I have never played with no latency.
Oh, you know what? That's fair.
That's not something that we experience. I have pretty good internet, but still, there's some latency in it. If you don't push it, it just processes what you did push. At first, I was concerned, but it turns out that predictive input is just a pre-processing, like in the background kind of technical.
Just what if this happens? Then we have okay. I feel like that's fair.
They're in for a surprise because my moves are never logical.
You think I'm gonna ult? I'm gonna back up and die. Gotcha, Google.
I didn't even want this mech. Bye.
You think I'm gonna shoot at the enemy? Nope, I'm gonna hide behind this wall.
Is there
Gotcha,
any other
Google.
news on this? Like something more. I hate these little tidbits on this.
It's weird.
I
mean,
think
they're just it's been just small little pinpricks of information from them.
Yeah.
Give me an update. Give me a real update. Like the PlayStation 5 one was moderate.
That was a leak too, though.
Also, yeah, they're saying a launch of February 2020. Which when is the Sony event?
Not in February, I don't think.
I'm hearing holiday 2020, and I'm also the leak was February 2020.
They would have had to have announced it though, wouldn't they?
Look how they announced Xbox One.
Fair enough.
I don't think they would have had to announce it. I don't think we're going to see a new console in February.
They're going to officially reveal it on February 2020.
Okay.
Oh,
reveal.
Okay,
And then
that makes sense
they
to
will
me.
release it.
E3, and everyone here can buy it right now. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna.
You can pre-order
That's
it.
fair.
I'll probably wait a
That
month.
didn't work out for Veronica Mars. That's all I'm saying. They did a thing at San Diego Comic-Con where they were like, you can watch all the episodes right now, and then the season sucked.
Yeah, but like if you're at a con and somebody's like, here's a show that was depressing a lot of the time and sometimes kind of funny, would you like to stop being an extrovert right now and go hang out in your hotel room the whole time? Like, Google Stadia, this whole thing though is just like, it's like Google Stadia. They're trying to convince us that it exists, but it doesn't. That's how I feel about all their updates. Where
that's what I was thinking. Is they don't want to they don't want any of these announcements to feel like a big reveal. They're just like, oh, remember we're doing
whispers. Give me
remember we're
something.
doing a thing.
what I'm getting from it is that they might not get gamers that much because this reduced lag thing is a hardcore gamer kind of announcement, but you're not going to be set up for hardcore gamers yet, probably. And also, most of us have dealt with latency.
Yeah, we're like, oh
It's
no.
not our biggest concern, and if it was, it's based on the internet connection. Like,
I think if they don't get their stuff together, this could go the way of like the Google phone, where it's just.
the Pixel? I think it could go the way of like Facebook games, but like on a bigger scale, where it's kind of like, sure, it's kind of a thing, but like
I used to
it's
play
not
Uno on
replacing
Facebook.
anything.
I met a couple friends off Uno Facebook, but I don't play them anymore. So.
I've never played
Nobody
a
does.
Facebook game,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Not on the tracks.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Check
Let's move on.
check
Yeah,
Uno
that's our bad.
friends. Leave it alone.
Cora, what do you got with that for us this week?
Well, I have more musical news this week.
Yay!
Boo! Oh, I'm sorry. There's a reflex.
That's gonna be my punishment for you if I win.
All right, so last week I talked about Gankutsuo having a musical coming out later in the year. Well, as I was checking the news for this week, I was going to try and do something non-anime related, but got pulled back in because there were 4 new anime musicals announced this week. 4. So we're just going to run real quick through them because, dear God. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about, we're going to start on this side. Yes, start this side top and just kind of go with it. So first we have the the 6th Tokunranbu musical coming out. It will be premiering in Japan at the Tokyo Dome City Hall on November 22nd through December 1st, and it's going to be jumping theaters up until January 18th. Looks really pretty. I highly recommend going and checking out the cast pictures they released this week, especially if you're a huge fan of costumes, because the costume porn is real. It's absolutely beautiful. And if you've never checked out Tokunranbu, I highly recommend checking that one out. Next to that, the one where you just see the portraits of people, because this was just announced, the hit anime Your Lie in April will have a musical coming out. There's no set date, but it will be released in July of next year. The director for this one is going to be the book for it will be penned by Ryoko Sakaguchi, who was the one who penned the book for The Tale of Princess Kaguya and Mary and the Witch's Flower. Next up, the one in the bottom left, right? The one with the baseballs. Ofuri, or Big Windup, will have its third stage play coming out. This one will be released, July 23rd, I believe. Hold on. Or we may not have a release date for this one yet. No, this one does not have a date yet. This was just announced that it's going to happen. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a liar. I can't read. February 2020. So in February, we will have a new baseball anime play. And last, but certainly not least, the third Yona of the Dawn will have their new stage play. Again, if you love costumes, I would highly recommend checking out the cast pictures. They're absolutely gorgeous. I wasn't going to try and do the same thing as I did with Gankutsuo last week because there's too many of these happening. This one actually, yes, here we go. The play will run in Tokyo from November 16th through November 23rd at the EX Theater in Tokyo.
16th through the 23rd.
November 16th through November 23rd.
It's only 2 weekends. Is that normal?
For a stage play of
a not ridiculously popular anime.
Yes, like Yona is popular, but it's not like super duper popular.
Okay.
Not like Tokunranbu or Big Windup.
Okay,
so
that's fair.
Do some of these animes have more musicals than they do seasons?
Yes. I mentioned the Prince of Tennis one last week. That one has like 13 musicals and it only had like 3 seasons. They did recently start re-releasing that anime, so it's very possible that there's more that I don't know about.
Okay.
But
I was just curious because you were talking about this a little bit off camera earlier. Like you said, yeah, there's so many musicals for all these animes, and that kind of got me thinking: are there more musicals of certain animes than there are actual seasons? And are they just redoing the same season just different ways, or are they doing like their own?
Does it follow
thing?
the manga, maybe?
Well, in the case of Prince of Tennis, because that's the one I have the most knowledge of, what it'll be is we're going to have a match against insert rival school here. And it'll be their like prep time up to that, their various matches there, and their victory or their defeat. Okay. And there's not much in there that they need to do, really. And then some of those are also like, we're going to have a reunion. And so they'll do songs from previous seasons with those actors and just perform them. And it's really weird. And sometimes the lyrics get just so corny, but that also depends on the anime itself. With Prince of Tennis, it's super corny. But with things like Yu Yu Hakusho or Black Butler, they're a little bit more serious.
Black Butler, I haven't heard that name in a while.
That makes perfect sense to me. It's like Ryan Murphy. Yeah. Like maybe you can write one season. It doesn't mean an ongoing story is very different from great moments that you could have to make a musical out of.
Yeah.
My takeaway from this whole story: 4 theater companies were mad as hell because they all made their announcement the same week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just that they made their announcement on the same week. A lot of them are happening at the same time. the Tokenranbu and the Yona plays are happening in the same time frame, because Tokenranbu starts on November 22nd and Yona will be ending theirs, but still, like, there's a lot of overlap with some of these.
They're in Tokyo, though, right? Like,
yeah, all of these are happening in Tokyo.
you're
or starting
not mad
there.
about that. As
So
long
you
as
go,
you're
like-
in different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Tokyo is so big.
So you go to like 1 in the morning and go till the 1 in the afternoon, if they have multiple shows.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I've mentioned this before, I would love to see these on stage, because I mean, even from the pictures that I've seen from the plays themselves, like from the actual stage, not just like the post pictures.
Yeah.
They do a really great job with the costumes. The wigs look immaculate. They get great actors that look like the characters and give off the same energy as those characters. And you can tell that all of them are having a great time. And there are some of them that will even, they used to do a thing on YouTube. Like they would go to YouTube and they would act in character while doing stupid stuff backstage. I don't know if they still do that. That was like selective actors. I can't remember who it was, but there was one that was really big into it.
You know, if this was Western culture, I would think they were mad about it. Like that they're all doing it on the same run. Eastern culture, it may be an announcement or a push they're trying to make to the world. Like, we want to be known for musicals now.
And again, just like last week, I don't know if these are going to be streamed over in the US for any, or on the internet at any point. I really hope so, because there are a lot of them that are really great. Certain bands like Lark and Seal and some others in Japan have proven that you can sell tickets to a live stream and people will buy it for entertainment purposes like this. So I think hopefully, like especially if they're at the Tokyo Dome or something like that, they will do that. Because I do want to see the Tokenranbu. I just really want to see those costumes in action. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, bring back J-Rock!
Yes! Yes. Well, actually, J-Rock is making a big comeback, but that's a topic for another time.
This is along those lines, kind of.
So Jason,
Something equally happy from you, I assume?
Uh-oh.
Get ready, folks. Oh, he cracks his
Uh-oh.
okay, he's ready.
So, Hearthstone player Chung Ming-Wai, otherwise known as Blitzchung, decided at the end of his victorious game of Hearthstone to yell, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age." During this post-match interview, and basically Blizzard said, "Oh, sorry, you pissed off the wrong people," issuing him a suspension for a year from gameplay and revoking his winnings of $10,000. They claimed the rule is engaging in an act that, in Blizzard's sole discretion, brings into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image. Now, the video has since been deleted. They also fired the team that was interviewing him, which, holy shit. Basically, this is due to Blizzard being owned 4.9% by Tencent, a Chinese company. They also own parts of companies Epic, Ubisoft, and Riot. Currently in Hong Kong, in case you didn't know, people are mad as hell and protesting in the streets. Why? Because of a recent law that China was trying to push on Hong Kong to basically allow them to extradite criminals. They pretty much saw this as a way for China to get a hold of maybe journalists and other people that just, hey, we don't like what you said about it, because they have a very sensitive leader. He's very, very sensitive about his Winnie the Pooh image, which also pisses him off because he thinks, well, people have made a comparison that he looks like Winnie the Pooh. Is that really that bad? Is it really that bad?
No.
It's Winnie.
No.
Oh, bother. Anyway,
You got Jason
Things
to
like-
say, "Oh, bother."
things like this have caused Disney not to license anything Winnie the Pooh related in China, because can't piss off where that paycheck is coming from. Well, back to the protest though. The protest was to get this bill kicked off. And kudos to the people of Hong Kong, because they said, okay, we won't vote on the bill. That wasn't good enough. Okay, we'll suspend it. That's not good enough. Okay, we'll yank it indefinitely. That's not good enough, because now, even though the bill has been fully pulled, they are still protesting because they want investigations into police brutality that happened during the protest. amnesty for everyone that was arrested, and the resignation of Carrie Lam, the chief executive of Hong Kong. Okay, now there's also been some flare up from Matt Stone and I can't think of Trey's last name from South Park. They recently had Trey Parker.
Yeah.
They recently had an episode that, for lack of a better word, said "fuck you, China."
It really
They
did.
recreated a
They
scene
basically, and they issued a very awesome apology. Go find
They
it.
did.
It's not much of a one. But also Houston Astros owner, what is his name?
No, Houston
Daryl
Rockets.
Morey. Houston Rockets owner, Daryl Morey.
NBA.
Also had showed support for Hong Kong Nationals. And apparently that has caused China to pull preseason games from Chinese television.
And they're not showing any NBA.
Even though they're having a game there currently in Shanghai, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's not broadcast or anything. There's no one. It's basically an empty gym.
Yeah. So basically, with all of that, people have not been happy with Blizzard's decision. Let's get back to Blitzchung. The man won a competition. He worked his ass off for and won, and now they're going to deny him his winnings. That is unacceptable to a number of people who've decided, you know what, Blizzard, maybe we just need to break up for a little while.
Oh,
I too have put Overwatch away for a while, and I love Overwatch, just not right now. Unfortunately, some people have found it difficult to delete their accounts with the authenticator not working on all fronts. Interesting that just went down just now. But anyway,
4 avenues.
interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, technology fails. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
But 4 times?
Well, also getting in on this are the protesters in China who have adopted a new figure to rally behind, and it's May.
Let me just put the image back up there.
There has been some beautiful artwork of May as a rallying figure for protesters in China. Why? Because since they're so sensitive about things, it would be a shame if Overwatch got banned in China. Be a shame if something like that happened. Just saying. Anyway, everyone is allowed to have their opinion on that, and I would go ahead and like to state my opinion right now. Waozhan Zhang Xinjiang, I stand with Hong Kong.
I didn't learn it in any language. Their protests reminds me of what Occupy Wall Street was trying to do and failed at so dramatically because they didn't have clear goals. That's what I love about this is they're like, we want these things. It's clear, concise, like action verbs. Like when we get these things, we stop protesting. Like Americans could seriously learn a thing or two from Hong Kong.
I applaud their protesting. It is a good aroma and everything. I love what they were doing with the tear gas grenades. They had a team where they put the cone over, killing the smoke, pour some water in, it's grenade dead.
And it was happening immediately.
Activated charcoal, the tennis racket guy, like booting it back.
That was my favorite one.
Yeah,
like,
that was.
We need an instructional video from them to distribute, in case we need it. Anyway,
Which
And
we have in
also-
the past 6 months.
Parting for emergency services,
Yeah.
that kind of thing has just been really impressive. Blizzard, I could almost get behind a little bit of what they did because if you're going to be like, we're not allowing political statements, then you have to disallow all political statements. But taking his entire winnings and banning him for a year was just blatantly their profiteering or whatever off of China. They have 5% holding, Tencent or whatever.
they have larger holdings than other. I think Epic they own 100% of.
No, I know, but like they have 5% of Blizzard, but they were responsible for 12% of their earnings last quarter.
Look, I understand it is a very lucrative market and everything, but we complain about free speech in this country. And I'm sorry, when another country is actually getting on our own country's free speech, it's kind of cause for alarm. It's one of the times where I'm like, maybe we should pull all of our companies out of China. Oh my God, did I just agree with Donald Trump? Anyway, I'm sorry. It is bothersome to see this right now.
I love
I mean,
Overwatch.
literally.
I'm obviously a huge fan. I it was really disappointing. That's the only word I can think of, to see the complete lack of response from Blizzard after all of it went down. See like the caster crying on his Twitter account, like literally sobbing that his opportunities are gone when they just conducted the interview. Like,
So how will this like affect everyone that like all the, I guess the esports for Overwatch and all that? Is it going to affect it in any sort of way? Do you think
they're off for the most part.
And I think they really need to be glad that they did this when they were in their off. I don't think they would have pulled something like this during Overwatch League. I don't think they could have dealt with the backlash.
They may have their I mean, they're in the middle of prepping for Overwatch World Cup right now, which is like the Olympics, kind of, in that it doesn't really matter, but everyone represents their countries. It kind of can matter, but it doesn't. I don't know.
Well,
Like,
granted, we have people in the United States who are pro-China and not and against Hong Kong.
I don't think it would have happened this way, or I feel like Jeff would have addressed it. Jeff Kaplan, the game director for Overwatch, would have said something, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Overwatch in general has had pretty good PR.
Well, better clarity,
Yeah.
purpose, and
Well, I hope Blizzard reverses course and just give Blitz his money back that he earned.
and
I
let
wouldn't
people
even care about that as much if they didn't suspend him. Like,
And then made it difficult
yeah,
for everybody else.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely unsuspend him. Just back off of this. It went bad. It didn't go how you thought it was going to go. We hate you now.
you
I've
shot yourself
seen-
in the foot, then you shot yourself in the other foot by not allowing people to express their own right of deleting their accounts or whatever. So it's greedy.
I will say, and this may just be coincidence, but I think it's funny. So all of that happened yesterday, or a lot of it really hit the fan yesterday. So as y'all know, I play 14, Final Fantasy 14, and there's usually like a wait to get online of like maybe 10 people, 15 max during the week. There was a wait of almost 30 people for me to get on last night. And I got on actually kind of late when there shouldn't have been that much of a wait time. And whenever I went into a major city, I lagged so bad. I couldn't run well. Like, I tried to cast a spell and I just stayed in the spell casting position as I ran, kind of thing.
I mean, same.
Yeah, and it was in all of the major cities or in all of like the big crystal areas, and it didn't click until today. I was like, oh wait, because there a bunch of people jumped ship from 14 to go to WoW Classic when that happened. So I'm wondering if a bunch of those people came back.
Maybe. I've seen a hilarious, to me, suggestion that you go to like comments or group chat and type F China and F their stupid whatever, and they're like, and then Blizzard will ban your account, so problem solved.
There you
And I'm
go.
like, that's kind of ingenious, but also
Modern
it's kind of
problems
funny.
require modern solutions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, okay, that's the news. In our chat, actually, that question about the fan,
Fan Expo.
those are up actually. I just checked it. I
Alright.
put a link in there. We're actually going to be at Fan Days, but we're also trying to go to Retropalooza, so we might be splitting the team, which that's fine. We have plenty of teams.
Split the party.
Split the party.
Don't you know?
No!
You never split the party.
We've got plenty of gear and
Split
enough
the
enough
party,
bodies
you
to
Cover it all.
take care of this. So yeah.
We're gonna send our bard and our clerics and our druid in one, and then just fighters in the other.
Hey,
Well, what's near? He's not.
You better have second wind up.
Yeah.
And then on that, we are playing D&D this Saturday on our Twitch channel,
Is that D&D?
twitch.tv/SCNS Live. Check us out 3 p.m. Saturday. We're
I thought it was 2.
We're going to die.
is it 2 or
What
3?
time is
It's
it?
3.
It's
usually
usually
three.
3.
It's 3. Okay.
We
I'm
can start at 2.
Yeah, we can change times if need be.
Not now. It's too late.
Why not? I just told people.
3.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Tres.
All time is
Tres.
Join us at 3 for some more D&D. Anyway, okay, on to the spoopy season. We got to figure out ways to have fun with the family.
Yeah.
Not just us. Not scaring the crap out of people.
Sitting there with a bowl of candy corn.
Well, scaring the crap out of people.
Absolutely.
What'd you say?
Sitting there with a bowl of candy corn.
Get out.
Yum.
What?
I'm
No.
with you on that, Rick.
Thank
I'm
you.
with you.
Sugar
Hold on.
mixed with earwax. Do
Candy
not come
corn?
at me.
Candy corn is
Literally.
delicious.
They
It's
literally,
disgusting.
it was literally invented to feed chickens. Like, this was not meant
I
for
like
humans.
chicken.
But it's made out of
I love
sugar.
fried chicken.
Fun fact.
I like beef too, but I don't eat grass. Like, it's not
I mean,
the
do
same
you
thing.
eat fruit or vegetables? Vegetables come from the ground.
That wasn't my point.
My favorite
really
part.
go for a baked potato right now.
My favorite part of Halloween is I like giving out candy at this house because for good costumes I give out the full size candy bars. I like to be that house.
Oh,
But if you're a teenager and you come up without a costume, you basically get a Taco Bell sauce packet
Are you serious?
and ketchup.
That's amazing.
Yeah. They don't know what I'm putting in there.
That's amazing.
Hey, teenagers will get candy if they come here, but if you come with no costume, that's great. There you go. I have them set to the side in the bowl. I got
So
mild,
if
I
you
got
have
fire.
kids,
I got,
and if they have really awesome costumes, you're gonna get a bomb ass.
oh yeah, they
Snickers
get
bar.
They get full size.
You
No,
need to
But
put
if-
a little
but
check mark on your map
but
next
if you are
to this house if
high
you have a good costume.
As another
but I
effort,
make sure that they see
come to his
great,
house.
great costume.
and
Here's
say,
a Three Musketeer.
"Yo." Can I get some Taco Bell sauce packets, please?
For the other ones, oh, y'all don't have a costume. Well, here you go, guys. Happy Halloween, and I just keep it in my hand and put it in their bag.
That's amazing.
You
What?
should
I might do
hand
that
out
this
like
year.
They can still use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hand out like flossers and mini toothbrush sets.
I
Like,
hate
You get the
that.
little
Be
plastic
that
maze
house.
thing with the cardboard. You have to get the little metal
Yeah.
the ball bearing.
I like those.
No. Candy. It's about the candy.
That's fair.
they're
Maybe you should give him little
labyrinths.
Blizzard cards or something.
Jason,
What?
Jason,
What?
Jason.
What?
You give them a sauce packet, but you poke a hole in it.
No.
So
no.
just
Yes.
slowly
No,
like
no,
Yes.
No,
No,
I
they
got,
can have
I got-
good stuff in there.
I got
I'm
one.
not
I got
gonna
one better
ruin
for
it.
you.
Oh,
Teenagers with bad costumes, give them spam.
No, bad costumes will get candy.
no costume. No costume
Yeah.
gets spam.
I'm not a monster. It says the guy who
Okay.
gives out sauce packets.
No. I appreciate that. Like, I don't necessarily always necessarily have money for a good costume, but I make an effort.
See, an effort will get you some fun
Her
size
and
bars.
me might be going as the if anyone watched Community, the human
no.
beings. That's just a
Oh,
whiteboard
no.
suit with drawn on eyes and a mouth.
no!
Oh my god, I love it.
So,
We've been
on
wanting
to
to do
family-friendly movies.
Exactly.
Rick, this was your topic. Start it off.
So this movie as a child scared me. I actually didn't watch it until about 20. I didn't fully watch it until about 2013, and there's a reason why I watched it, which I'm not gonna get into. But the first one of the it is a classic. I think it is kind of like one of those movies that every child needs to see at some point. But Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
It
Ooh.
scared you?
It scared me. The
Why? Like,
claymation,
which part?
the claymation, the way the characters looked, it just I didn't like it. It just scared me. It was creepy, and my first horror film ever was Silence of the Lambs, which is not a kids film.
How
But
old were you when you saw this movie?
Silence of the Lambs?
No, not Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
Family-friendly, fool.
first time I saw the
Not
first time
faces being eaten.
the first time I kind of saw
Nightmare.
Nightmare, I was probably about 7 or 8, and then when I
Okay.
fully watched it, I was 23. So there's a good long gap
That's
there.
a gap.
You
Yeah.
watched it with us right after I got back from Korea.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
When I watched it with y'all, that was like the second or third time I'd seen it. I saw it with a former friend of mine.
Oh yeah, 'cause you got back like mid-October, right?
But I mean, seeing it now, I mean, it's one of my wife's favorite movies. It's some of my friends' favorite movies. But yeah, no, that's it. It is. It can be kind of creepy and scary. I think for some kids, like I say, it was for me. But once you watch it, it really is wholesome. So I think that at least.
I like that. I don't consider it a Halloween movie, like, which is weird.
I think we usually watch it in between Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a Thanksgiving film for them. No.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah. Like about halfway in between Halloween and Christmas, when you're getting out of the spooky mood and into the Christmas mood.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's great for that.
They're one in the same mood. I like
Yeah.
spider webs on my Christmas tree. Leave me alone.
That's real weird. So mine is obviously Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. No,
Oh,
genuinely, that's not mine. But I was really scared of the
The Heffalumps and Woozles.
yeah, the Heffalumps and Woozles song
This
in his
song.
dream is terrible. I still don't like it.
I watched that again recently,
It's
actually,
really creepy.
and
It's creepy, right?
I didn't realize how creepy that was.
Yeah.
It's a weird song in a minor key, combined with abstraction and morphing. Like, it's terrifying.
With also, the entire song is about the inevitability. Like, they will come
They are
and
not
they will
less
get.
scary than zombies. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just
like the
gonna get
whole
there.
thing is based on no matter what you want, they will take it from you. And so it genuinely scared me. That is not what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about Coraline, which
Ooh, yeah.
is iffy.
It's the Button
family
Eyes.
friendly. It's the Button Eyes movie. It's from Neil Gaiman, and it was adapted. It's got Keith David in it, whom I adore. But I don't know. It's a very, very creepy movie. There are a couple of scenes that I genuinely, even now, I do not care for. Anything with like
the needles.
they sew his mouth. That, and there's a time when a face just kind of almost like melts off, and I don't like that.
Isn't that also like a claymation movie? Like
Yes, it is.
See, claymation movies.
Creepy.
They like James and Peach. Also, not a Halloween film, but
Too creepy.
creepy.
Yeah.
The Chicken Run, creepy. Wallace and Gromit, creepy.
I don't like those faces, anyways. Though.
Yeah.
The Wallace and Gromit faces.
So
because the chicken. Oh, I thought you meant Chicken Run. I'm like, they're not supposed to have expressions.
Corpse
So-
Bride, creepy. Frankenweenie, creepy. It's the whole
I never saw
claymation thing.
Frankenweenie.
It's creepy.
Anyway, so yeah, Coraline, creepy movie, family friendly is kind of iffy, but
Maybe for
I would
like-
definitely say Halloween scary movie. Yeah.
Maybe for like 10-year-olds and up.
Although the younger the child gets, the less they seem to be bothered by it, because they're just like, oh yeah, that one's bad.
Actually, Gaiman actually talked about that at one point, because the story itself is focused more on what a parent's fear is more than a child's fear. There's a parental fear that your child could be in some kind of horrible danger like Coraline was, and you have to watch that happen. Spoilers, this movie's old enough that we can talk about spoilers. They're in a snow globe and they have to watch her fighting this horrible monster all by herself.
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's terrifying. It's terrifying to watch anyway, especially if you have arachnophobia, regardless. But as an adult, it's a lot more unsettling, because like my mom does not like that movie.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I
But-
watched it recently and it scared me.
I went
And I love horror.
I went and saw it in when it came out. I went and saw it in the theater without any children, and also I was with a guy who's like 15 years older than me. That we'd go see movies together.
Yeah.
Sometimes he was awesome. He's very introverted and doesn't. But we'd go see movies. We were the only two like adults without kids in the theater, and like a 5-year-old started crying at one point after some part in the movie, and we
Why
were
are you
like,
here?
"Yep, that tracks." And we just kind of sat there and laughed. And when they busted out the buttons, I was like, "Whoa!"
Hey, let's have we went to go see Big Hero 6, a preview, and that we were like the only two people without any children. We were sitting there bawling our faces off.
It was so hard to watch.
It was so hard. It's so sad.
When we went and saw it, Cameron and I went and saw Despicable Me, like before it came out. James Wallace got us tickets, actually, and I said I was going to bring my little brother to this pre-screening. And
Oh,
he
he
shows
thought-
up and he's like 22, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "He's my little brother."
Yeah. So what movie you got, Kat?
I don't know. I wrote down a few. Like, I like the newer Ghostbusters. That's kind of borderline too. You need to be like probably 12 or 13. But really, anything I would watch with my parents, I consider family friendly.
Fair.
Yeah.
And we watched that with my dad. It was okay. It's a little creepy sometimes, but most of it's
The
Fairly
the
innocuous.
carnival.
the carnival ghosts are kind of creepy. I don't think the big doughy dude is particularly scary, but yeah, the carnival ghosts are kind of unsettling.
Yeah.
The OG Ghostbusters are
I
good
was going to
too.
counter with that one. That was actually my.
Oh, really?
It was the
I
ghosts.
didn't mention the Ghostbusters. Go ahead.
Well, like the first Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
the original. It actually scared me as a kid, just because. I mean, the first scene is the librarian ghost, which
Oh,
Nope. nope,
Yeah.
because she's quiet and then kill you next.
Yeah.
That
She had that face.
yeah, exactly. That was pretty terrifying as a kid.
I don't think
The
I
other
saw
one
it.
I was looking at, and I've forgotten about this one. The Witches with Angelica Houston.
Oh, it's from the 90s.
There is a scene on
yeah.
that where the witches start pulling their normal faces off.
Oh, no, thank you.
And as a kid, it's still a family friendly movie. But as a kid watching, I'm just like it is very visceral. The
Yeah.
layers of makeup, and as an adult, I appreciate that they had a mask over a mask. But when they start pulling them off,
Yeah.
no, sir.
So it's family friendly
Oh,
except for
no,
like that
ma'am.
one bit.
Yeah, and they're wet. They have that sticky appearance
yeah.
too. And I remember vividly and Angelica Houston, great actress.
Oh, yeah.
She was
Perfect for a witch.
She was terrifying
So
in The
wonderful.
Witches.
Yeah.
So I had almost forgotten about that movie because I only seen it a couple times. But man, ooh boy,
Yeah.
Corey, you got any films?
I do. There is one film that I watch every single Halloween season, which I'm going to be watching that this weekend actually, and that's Paranorman. Again, it's another stop motion animation movie. It's actually made by the same Studio Leica, that did Coraline. Fun enough. If you've never seen Paranorman, it's adorable, and it's actually not that scary. It's about a kid who can see ghosts, and you know this right off the bat. He's like friends with every ghost in town. And something starts happening in the town, and he starts trying to solve it because he's the only one that can stop the bad thing from happening. Because he's the only one that has the compassion enough to actually try instead of just putting a Band-Aid over it. And
it's a really good one.
it really is. And like honestly, one of the reasons you should watch it to begin with is the attention to detail with the puppets. Like Norman's ears, like because they do like the stick out ear kind of style. You can see the light through the eyes or through the ears. That's how thin the puppet is. And I was watching I think the DVD I have is like a behind the scenes thing with it. It's fascinating to watch, especially if you like that kind of stuff. It's beautiful.
So,
but the story itself,
his face.
Okay, yeah.
Story itself is fantastic. I didn't know if this counted, but I have a show that I watch every year too.
Is it so weird?
Huh?
Is it so weird?
No.
Which one is it?
Over the Garden Wall.
Yes, I just watched that again.
Yep, it's in the fall season. It's on Halloween. It's perfect, and it's perfect for the family.
I think I watched it for the first time. Yeah, for the first time last year. It was after A-Fest because I ran into the Beast.
Yes.
I was like, oh, this is interesting. Yeah.
Player that I don't know who he is, Danny something, I think, but is a phenomenal.
My friends Issa and Gretchen, they showed me pictures of the cosplay they did of that, and then I went over to their apartment when they lived in Bedford, and we went through the whole thing like in a couple hours.
Yeah,
and,
it's not that long.
And then a year later, or I guess a few months later after that, I was at San Diego Comic-Con. There was two kids dressed as the kids, and the one with the little tea kettle.
Not Greg.
He looked at me and just reaches out and gives me a piece of candy, and I'm like,
oh,
a piece of candy.
Did he give you rock facts?
He did not. The kids were a little shy, but
Oh,
I
that's
took a
okay.
picture of it and I sent it to my friend Issa and Gretchen.
Oh, that's so
they're like, we're living through you right now because this happened to you, but we're big fans. I'm like, yes, I know. That's why I sent it to you guys. A couple of the movies I wanted to mention. Casper from 1995 with Christina Ricci as and Bill Pullman.
And Dan Aykroyd was in it as a Ghostbuster.
Yeah. Who are you gonna call? Somebody else.
Yes.
Another one, a Disney Channel original movie, Halloween Town. There's actually 4 of them now. It's Halloween Town High, or Halloween Town Return of Calamar. It's a whole series. Actually, it's really, really good.
There's one that we haven't mentioned.
Is it start with an H? Second word starts with a P?
Yeah, Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus!
I'm surprised we didn't say that.
There's someone in our neighborhood that has cutouts of the 3 witches in their yard.
Yeah,
Oh,
that house looks like fun, and I really want to visit them on Halloween.
I have to ask because I personally haven't seen this movie yet, but I think some of you have. Is Coco one that I should add to my list?
Yes.
Day of the Dead, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Coco.
We watched that.
Absolutely.
With
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
What's her face?
When
I don't-
started this, when it's no.
Also, I just want to point out, Jason, you looked to me, the white person, instead of to Ricardo, the Hispanic, on the pronunciation.
I guess I don't see color around.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so with Coco, yeah, I actually, when that movie came out, man, Chelsea and I watched it, and we were bawling our eyes out. And she was like, "Why would you do this to me?" I'm like, "Because this is my heritage." But it is a family friendly film. It is also very. One thing I love about Disney that they do.
This was technically Pixar, though.
Pixar, well, Disney Pixar. One thing that I absolutely love that they do, because they did it same with Moana and a couple other films. They send a team for a couple of weeks down to whatever country the movie takes place in, and they take hundreds of thousands of photos. They interview people. They experience the culture. They made like the masks, and they were making the food. They were getting hands on how everything was. They didn't just kind of like look around and like, okay, cool, we kind of got an idea. No, they experienced it, and watching that movie, I've never really grown up celebrating Day of the Dead, but knowing about it, and seeing some of my other family members celebrating, seeing that, I was like, I don't really celebrate this, but I love the respect and time that they put into Coco, because I know for my mom and my dad, I know that movie, I think it meant a lot more to them than it probably did me, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I love how much effort they put into it. It's just like, it's not just another film for them. It's like,
Same thing with Moana.
yeah. And,
This is in addition to hiring culture like consultants to
Yeah.
help them out.
Yes.
They also send a team.
and a lot of the voice actors, even though the movie was in English, a lot of them were Hispanic voice actors, or had some sort of Hispanic origin to them, like Benjamin Bratt.
Something we're doing a little bit better at as a society, finally. Like, not a lot, but a little bit.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
And one thing I do want, like, I just want to throw in this tidbit because I didn't notice it when I watched Coco, and it's not a spoiler or anything. The dog that follows the main character around, that breed of dog is associated with guides for the dead. It's actually like, I think it's interesting that a lot of cultures have dogs that guide people, like guide their spirits to the afterlife, and that's the breed of dog that followed him around everywhere. That dog is that breed. I can't remember the name of it right now.
That's because if it was
it's a hairless
cats,
dog,
you would
You'd get
think it
lost.
was terrifying. The afterlife based on cats being
Also,
like,
they wouldn't lead you anywhere. They're cats. They
That
hate you.
is true. There is one other movie I wanted to mention. It's not one of my favorites, but it is a classic, Beetlejuice.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
That toes the line,
I
but
like
yes.
it. It's not one of my favorite movies, but yeah, like it's considered very family friendly. I don't think it would have freaked me out as a kid, even when he like.
They have the one. He has the one.
The
He gets
one
the one
moment,
F-bomb.
yeah.
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 And he plays it so well.
He really, really does.
I recently watched Beetlejuice again.
Is it good? Does that
It's-
hold up?
Oh,
It
yeah.
does,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It still holds up.
Especially if you like cheesy 90s, like that 90s aesthetic in the movies.
I think it was V. Neal's one of her Oscars, right?
Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorite makeup artists designed his look.
yeah. So
He did great. Or
two
she-
more
they
movies
did
I'm going to
great,
mention
sorry.
real quick because we're running out of time. Tower of Terror from the Disney Channel original movie, which was inspired by the ride at Disneyland, which then became over at Disney World, and then the other one was it skipped my mind, so I will mention it later. It floated.
Could have
It
tweeted
just
out
floated.
like an
It
hour.
floated out of my ear.
Just watch for a Facebook post when he finally remembers that. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us for another
Phantom
hour
of the
of this-
Megaplex. Sorry.
Oh, I
Never
remember that
watched
movie.
it.
I
It was
didn't
a
watch
Disney,
it.
It was another Disney Channel original movie, all which is going to be on Disney Plus here in about 3 weeks.
Really?
You done interrupting me, boy? Anyway, give him my hat. Anyway, thank you guys out there in the super cool Nerd Nation for joining
I'm
us.
just kidding. I wanted to interrupt you.
And that's it. Goodbye. Anyway, like I said, we'll be playing some D&D this weekend. There is a new episode of Alternate Heads up on the YouTube channel. We talk about the stuff that we saw from New York Comic Con. And this week we are recording Anime TV. Cora, what are we watching this weekend?
This weekend we are going to be watching the quintessential quintuplets for our 5th episode.
No, seriously, what are we watching?
The quintessential quintuplets.
Are they all essential?
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, and that of course will be released on Tuesday. Go to the channel and also check out some of the episodes of Super Cool Nerd Nation. Those are some good interviews you've been doing, Ricardo.
Thank you. They are on hold for temporary as I get acclimated to my new job. So,
but there's plenty to catch up on.
15 episodes. There's 15 to watch. Most of them are almost an hour. So,
and of course, follow us on Facebook.com/SCNS Live and on Twitter and Instagram at SCNS Live. But if you want to follow us personally, you can find me at JasonX on Twitter and Instagram, and also doing things with Now with Milk.
Wait, what? Is your thing now that you just steal other people's outros?
I've only got so many that I can get through. That was totally reflex because I didn't see that until it was about 2 feet in front of me. Like if I had watched her throw that from there, she'd have hit me right in the face.
And I'm so sad you moved.
Do you want me to hit him in the face?
No.
Yes.
You go. Oh,
See?
oh, you almost hit her.
You can
I was
find
tossing it to her
me
to throw.
on Twitter and Instagram, sometimes on Twitter at BetterCat.
You can find me actually doing things with Now with Milk. I guess that's not important. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Good Cast.
You can find me on Instagram under NerdyRick89. I am doing the 365-day challenge. I misnumbered the other day, but I've not missed a day. But I fixed my numbering. And of course, you can watch Super Cool Nerd Nation on our YouTube channel. 15 episodes are up. More will be coming here in the next month or so after I get acclimated to my new job, which is pretty cool. So.
All right. You can follow me on Instagram at Corodono. It's spelled down below. I am doing Sketchtober this month with a D&D theme. So each day I've been posting a new sketch related to D&D and the prompts. Today's prompt was healing and tomorrow's will be imagination. Or if you would like to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at HawksPerch, where I scream into the void about Suikoden. The void has started to answer back, but it's not loud enough. Please join me in screaming at Suikoden about Suikoden. And today is TED Day, so...
Or scream at Suikoden.
Suikoden! There.
Anyway, guys, that's our show. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. And as we always say, keep on nerding.
The Elite.
The Elite.
Beetlejuice.
Nope.
Beetlejuice.
Hey.
Beetlejuice!
Hey!